They'll lynch you, but he did, and he lasted. I think he lasted about a week and a half.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network. Anton here, another live. So keep the comments coming in and let me know your thoughts on what I'm going to go through. I hope you've enjoyed the content over the past couple of days. A few live shows. Myself and Russ jumped on last night. We gave you, our mindset about life after Rice. It's done. It's dusted. It's gone. Let's focus on bringing in new players as much as we possibly can. And really, essentially, we need to be doing that ASAP. We know there's going to be no business done today. But at least by the end of this week coming, we fully expect West Ham to start making some moves in the transfer market. Now, one of those players that is potentially linked to us. Now, I'm going to try and dissect it a little bit, but I'm going to bring to you what the reports are saying. Now, Harry Maguire's Man United future is in doubt. There's no ifs or buts about it. And according to sources, West Ham are interested in signing the out-of-favour Manchester United captain. Now, it's thought that the club are exploring the option of both a loan and a permanent deal for the 30-year-old England international. But the biggest hurdle will be his wages, because we're expecting and we've understood that he's earning upwards of 200k a week at Manchester United. And I just can't see literally West Ham paying that amount of money. Now, we do know that West Ham are also looking at other targets, but Manchester United potentially have set the price at £40 million. Now, are we going to pay that amount of money for Harry Maguire? He's 30 years old. He just made 8 Premier League starts last season. And obviously, Ten Hag has settled for his centre-back pairing, but they will want to recoup some of the money that they, of course, paid for the England international. They paid £80 million for him from Leicester City back in 2019, and he endured a torrid campaign during the 21-22 season, and his confidence was shot, and you could see that in an abundance. And it's a little bit like West Ham have become that club that can look at players who maybe need a bit of TLC and bring the best out of them. But the issue with this position is that it's such a position that you need some strong level of authority in the centre-back. You know, when you've got a player of the quality of Zuma, albeit we're concerned about his injuries, and you've got a player like a Gerd who's taken his time to adapt, but I think he will adapt immensely well, particularly this season. Then I think when you bring someone who's lacking in confidence in the backline, that's the one that, you need players to be so on it, so on the ball, that my concern is that I don't think we've got the patience or the time to be able to give Harry Maguire what he needs from our club. I genuinely don't see this as a good mix. Now, listen, if West Ham sign the player, I'll back him to the guns. But I really don't see West Ham getting the best out of Harry Maguire and Harry Maguire settling in to the West Ham system. Now, he is and was the most expensive defender of all time. And I think Ten Hag would happily let him fight and compete for a spot next season. But if they can recoup something like 40 million quid, then they are going to want to explore that options. But West Ham, for me, need to make sure that this money that we've got to spend travels as far as we possibly can. And if he is earning 200k a week, that smashes our budget, our weekly budget. That's a ridiculous amount of money. Like without having to go back on the Declan Rice situation. But if we offer someone of the caliber of Declan Rice 200k a week to try and keep him at the club long term, then why would we go out and smash that and offer it to Harry Maguire? No disrespect to you, Harry, but I don't understand that mindset. Now, I think by putting two together, you can come up with the idea that maybe Moyes is keen on Harry Maguire. Premier League proven, done a good job with Leicester, has been all right with Manchester United, and of course, that he has got an England international pedigree as well. But the situation lies is that, are there better targets out there for potentially less money? I suppose the short answer to that would be yes. But who are they? You've got Torino's Pierre Schurz that we're after, Bayer Leverkusen's Jonathan Tah, who I really, really, really like, and also Luis Felipe from Real Betis. Now, of course, all three players are not Premier League proven, but sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you've got the likes of a Gerd who's got a year under his belt. Zuma's got several Premier League experience. There's no ifs and buts about it. We need to bring recruits in from that position. So that's why I hope West Ham look elsewhere in the nicest possible way. People are talking about Harry Maguire having to find that club to go and get the best out of him. I've rated him in the past, but don't massively rate him and haven't rated him for many a year. So I don't see why West Ham would go and smash that budget, our weekly wage budget, to bring a player of Harry Maguire's quality in. You'd want someone to hit the ground running. I don't know if he would. I think there is a calamity in him. And I think his confidence seems to be shook dramatically. And is that what West Ham want? Right. I'm going to jump into the comments, see what everyone else is saying. And then we'll kind of just carry on and see what's going on as well. Let's have a look here. Didier Slaphead and McTominay, please. Listen, McTominay is someone I would absolutely I genuinely, the more I've come to terms with what's happened with Declan Rice and look at what McTominay brings, I genuinely think he would really suit our club and suit the style of play that we play, whether we change it up a bit or we... He's a forward-thinking central defensive midfielder who used to play as a striker, so he can bang in some goals, and he's on form right now for his country in Scotland as well. We need a captain. Toby says, wouldn't turn my nose up at either of them, to be honest. It's funny, I don't know. I mean, listen, again, who am I to say what I say? But essentially, I don't really want Harry Maguire, but I'll back him if we sign him. McTominay would make us a bit nastier, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I get that. Slabhead in the claret and blue. George WHU, thoughts on Rice going to Arsenal? We've done that chat last night. Go and check it out. So we did a chat about that. Yep, over that now. Toby Sampson says, I vote this is a Rice-free show. You're right, mate. Rumour or has a bid been made? All rumours, all reports suggesting. So it's about us as a group of fan base looking at the situation, because no one essentially does know. I kind of don't care really what people say, and I'm not being horrible about that. Not you, but the ITK world, because it's so mental, the amount of names that you can throw at the thing. You know, I go back to when Russ talks about the amount of players we're linked to, you know, just throwing it all. People do know information. I do believe people do get information, but we don't know everything that goes on. So essentially it's for us to understand, is this a genuine form of truth? You know, you've got lots of reputable reporters saying that West Ham are genuinely interested in Harry Maguire. Fremer, good to see you, my friend. It was yesterday, Troj. Don't want Maguire anywhere near a club. I just don't know. 30 years old, 40 million quid, 200k a week. I don't see how that elevates West Ham. I really, really don't. I would rather look elsewhere at players that are, if you're going to pay 40 million and pay 200 grand a week, then you need to be looking at someone who's 5 years younger, in my genuine, honest opinion, in that position, and someone who's not needing an arm around them. That's what I want. I want an article. I want the finished piece, a piece of the jigsaw, not like a risk. I do see that one as a risk. Howard, good to see you, mate. Hopefully you are well. Marine, McTominay and Maguire joining us. Good to see you, mate. It's cold here. I think loads of people, Vito, are you know, we're talking to Kieran, who sometimes does some stuff on the channel for us. He's out in Australia. So I don't know what the situation is. Can you get to the games? Because I know it's a bit of a decent flight if you want to go from certain places to Perth, etc. So let us know what the situation is there. Troj, good to see you, my friend. Damien, afternoon all, Anton. That MOT, what I wanted. A Moyes signing, absolutely. Montana Prime, we don't need Maguire, mate. What is Tim Stein doing here? He is rubbish. Please understand that this is not essentially facts. It's just what we're hearing in reports. So it's just coming out to talk about it. All yous are talking to each other. Same, not sure which quality is Maguire. I'm not saying no to Maguire. Thank you. Does anyone believe Moyes can bring the best out of Maguire? Do you know what? See, if you were saying a loan, see a loan deal. A loan deal is the only option I would accept on this. That's the only thing I would look at. And I think if West Ham were looking at Maguire, the only way I would accept it would be a loan deal. I think that would be a genuine, okay, like a Premier League proven centre back who's got the Premier League experience, England international. So obviously people see something in him. If we can bring the best out of him from a loan deal, then that's an okay deal for West Ham to explore. That is what I'm okay with. All talking to each other. Moyes can't even bring the best out of his Buffalo Snowy, no Maguire past his best. Dawson 2 incoming. Back 5 it is then. Maguire never worth 200k a week, and he's too old. He isn't great either. McTominay would be good. I agree. I think he really would be. Maguire for no more than 20 million. I think he'll do all right under Moyes, but we haven't got 40 million pounds to spend on another centre back. I agree with you. I still wouldn't pay the 20 mil if I'm being honest at that age, because his weekly wage is just through the roof. So a loan deal is the one that I foresee West Ham potentially trying to, and I think they'll explore that. I think they will explore that. I think that's an okay option for us as well. Maguire's terrible. He cannot be saved. Who has Moyes improved? I told you last night to stand by. New players are incoming. It won't be a loan deal, as Man United won't entertain that from West Ham. Come on, you Irons. Maguire got court stuff next season. No manure, big heads. Surreal frame, all good. Heart is dropping at the thoughts of Slaphead. Well, we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see, don't we? Better off spending that money on Barnes from Philip. Yeah, I think the situation is it's interesting now. I think we'll see movement tomorrow. So it'll be an interesting couple of days in the West Ham world as fans. So keep your eye on the channel. We'll bring to you all the news we possibly can. I fully expect West Ham to start making strides in changing and bringing in some fresh faces to the club. I think what we'll see is this week, if we don't move in Harvey Barnes, then Harvey Barnes is not coming to West Ham. Like, I don't see how that option happens, especially if Newcastle are sniffing around them. You know, today you're hearing that they're looking at getting rid of St. Maximum so they can bring money in to afford to bring in Harvey Barnes as well. If that is an option, then we'll have to wait and see. I would love West Ham to move for someone like Harvey Barnes, but if we don't move for him this week, it's done. Not Maguire for me. We need younger players, not 30-year-old players trying to rebuild their careers. A bit like McTominay. He plays well for the country, but doesn't do it for the club. I think Maguire and McTominay are very different because they're a very different style of play. I don't think McTominay's a confidence player. I think McTominay just needs first-team football. I don't think he's ever been crap at Man United. I don't think his head's been dropped. His confidence has ever dropped. So essentially, I think I would absolutely make a move on McTominay. That's where I would like to go for it. He's going Newcastle, mate. Sorry, I would rather have Casey or Lang play ahead of Harry. I think United have done him dirty and would like to see him leave Man United, not just us. Yeah, loads of people say that, don't they? He's go and get Barnes now. Well, listen, on that, just remember, we don't tend to do any business on Saturdays and Sundays at all. So nothing's going to happen today. So keep your eye on what's going to happen over the next few days. West Ham will probably offer around 25 to 35 million. Milinkovic instead of Slabhead, please. So I don't know. I used to think Milinkovic was going to be the option, but after West Ham played against him, I wasn't enamored. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think that plays on the manager's mind. If you play against the player, if you think about Arabit from Fiorentina, the way he played against West Ham in the final, like, he was a standout player. So that's someone who would be a very good option if West Ham could push the vote out and bring him in. Could you imagine getting Harry Maguire in bench and a Gerd? That would be so disgusting. Yes, it actually would, definitely. Fremer, people are really sure he doesn't perform for us. Did have a crystal ball lying around. No, they don't. No way he's not for West Ham. McTominay and Souček, McTominay and Downs. I think for that one, I think we all would call for Downs to get a chance, wouldn't we? Really, but I don't think we can't underestimate Souček. I've said this last night when I done a show with Russ. I think Souček might open up his skill set and his ability and as a footballer because Rice is gone. So I think that we might see a new Tommy Souček. But again, it's all hearsay. Maguire could turn out to be Bandor, or he doesn't suit Manure's tactics. McTober Mori has been smashing it in this. Everyone's an expert for him. They are, mate. They certainly are. No, but I have a TV and I've watched Harry Maguire. That club is not West Ham. Stay clear from Montana Prime. Troj is saying Manchester will try rip us off and set high prices, same as Lingard. Adrian says, what's the point of a new technical director if we're just linked with the same old faces? The only thing I can say is that part of me feels like this one could be smoke and mirrors. I think, right, let's think practically about this. Will West Ham pay 40 million for Harry Maguire? Let's do the Russie rating rumor, right? Or the Anton rating rumor, or the realistic rating rumor. So the question I'm going to ask to you all now, do you think West Ham will pay £40 million for Harry Maguire? I'm going to say no, right? The next option is, would West Ham make a loan offer to Harry Maguire? I'm going to say yes. The next question is, if we were to pay for a fee, how much would we go to for a Harry Maguire? I would hope, personally, we would only go to 20 mil, 25 mil max to bring Harry Maguire to the club. but I don't even know if I want us to do it. So for me, the only option realistically for me is a loan. And if we buy, it can't be any more than 20, 25 mil. But then we have to negotiate wages. Would you pay, and do you think West Ham will pay 200k a week for Harry Maguire? No, I don't think he will. So then he has to take a drop as well. If it's a loan deal, then we have to hold on a second, everyone. Sorry, I've just got someone coming in. Sorry, Sorry, I am still here, everyone. So for that option, I think then we would be looking at changing, like not spending that amount of money on a player like that. Let me jump through the rest of the comments and then we'll finish this up here. Where are we? I'd only take McTominay as a replacement to Souček. E. Davis, McTominay hides in the midfield just like Souček. Paqueta will be pulling his hair out. We can't buy in a captain. It would ruin the dressing room. Doghouse, the new situation if he goes to us could be for him and us. I'd be happy with him because he had a new start. Up. Yeah. Who's going to take over from David Moyes after this year and who would you take? We'll talk about that in the future. Absolutely, we'll talk about that in the future. I'm going to have to jump down some of the comments because I am going to have to go. Let's see where we are. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I'd take 10 mil for Harry Maguire off their hands. No. They value him at 60 million quid. Farron says Maguire forgot they actually on 200k a week. Oh my God, absolutely. Jordy's trying to turn Paqueta's head. Now, I don't believe that at all. They need to sell a lot of players to be able to afford to bring Paqueta in. So don't be concerned Paqueta's staying with West Ham this season. Man United performance don't justify valuation. Some goals for Lingard. Value has potential factored in, but risk could be on us to realise that. Vincent, no dramas in getting flights from Sydney to Perth. Do you remember when nobody wanted Dawson? Fast forward Maguire. I know there's a massive difference between Maguire and Dawson. One is valued at 40, 50, 60 million, 200k a week. Dawson valued at a lot less as well, so less of a risk. Loan for Maguire on stupid wages? Hell no. Wouldn't pay toffee for him. Well, we all know Everton wouldn't pay for him. I know that's not what you're meaning. His wages will be too high. Slaphead is a new Phil Jones. Rather get Ajax in the centre half. McTominay, Alex Scott, Barnes, Jonathan David. Yeah, tick, 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 tick to every single one of those players. Lee, thank you very much for joining us, mate. I'm really glad you do enjoy it, so I appreciate that. People asked us last night on the live show, if you're interested in becoming a channel member, there's an option to click join. So if you want to do that, you get entered into cool prize draws, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to, you can click on the join option there as well. The under 21 captain, I'd take all along, absolutely. Now, listen, I wanted to stay on a bit longer, but I do have to go. Dan XG, 50 million on Howard Bellis, or 40 million on Maguire. No brainer for me. Got to stop stockpiling 30 plus euros as well. Will you get subtitles sorted out? I'll do it for you. You only. I will do it for you. We don't need a centre back, though, do we? I think we do, Toby. We do. Moyes wants to work on 4 solid centre back options. I think we do need to look at an option there. Jonathan Tah for me is the one. So they're definitely 2 options. So yeah, I'm up for that. Anyway, listen, everyone, I do need to go. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned on the channel for the next coming weeks because we'll have more stuff coming your way. And it's going to heat up this week anyway, 100%. Thank you for watching, everyone. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Come on, you Irons.